weekly Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up! And it is Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, so it is time for our YouTube Live. And I have some really fun projects planned for you tonight, so I'm hoping you're going to be joining me. I'll give you a few minutes to hop on. That's interesting. That's new. Hold, please. Let's see if I can fix that. Don't get seasick. Okay. I will be right back. I'm going to plug my phone in. It seems to be running low on juice, and that's what I use as my camera. If that fixes our problem. It's always something, isn't it? Oh my goodness. All right, let's see what I can do here. Get that in, close that screen, and hopefully I will be back online with my picture versus the message. How's that? Is that any better? Let's see what we got. Now that I've made you all seasick. Hi, Shirley. That's a little better, but it's still not. There we go. Now we're zoomed in. Okay. Hopefully that will make it better. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was fun. Hi, Betty. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you had a good day. It was actually a nice day here in Pennsylvania. We didn't have a lot of humidity or heat, so that was kind of nice. Hi, Valerie. Giving everybody a couple beats to hop on. Make sure you say hello when you're here. And if you're a new watcher, let me know where you're watching from. I always think that's fun, right? Hey, Connie. Love to see how far my video is going or who's watching from where. That's always a great thing to know. And just know that I do appreciate you. I appreciate that you take time out of your busy day to come and hang out with me for a little bit. Hopefully get a little bit of crafty inspiration and enjoy the projects that I make. And, if you do, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And if you're not a subscriber, I would really appreciate your support by hitting that subscribe button. So, okay, so we are going to jump in. Not a lot to talk about. End of the month is coming. Make sure if you are interested in these cards, these are the just cards for the month, that you're putting that minimum $30 product order in on my website, addictedstamper.stampinup.net. The July host code is right here. And that is the code when you put that minimum $30 product order in that tells me you want the just card kits. These are free card kits. If you are long distance, we do ask for help with postage. It's about $4 right now to get these out to you. But you get all the cardstock, the ribbons, the embellishments, the die cutting is done for you, envelopes, and a step-by-step PDF tutorial, which I'll email to you right before I send the classes out, so that you will know exactly how to put them together if you are long distance. If you live locally, you can do a porch pickup, or I usually do a second Wednesday of the month in-person class. And there's usually a 3 o'clock and a 6 o'clock. Have some things going on that I may not be able to do that in August. Stay tuned. I'll know more after the 5th. But you can always come to the in-person class too. These cards are designed, as you can tell, using lots of die cuts, designer series paper, embossing, etc. Very little stamping, greetings, right? And then this one little guy does have the little gnome, which we're playing with those tonight, guys. And oh my goodness, I have some really cute projects to share with you. So you don't need a lot, just your adhesives, your inks, and whatever stamps that you would like to use to create the projects if you're not at the in-person class. Okay. And then this beautiful card we made last Tuesday together with the Cottage Rose. So pretty. The winner of this is Julie Poindexter, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Julie, I don't know if you're on, But first of all, congratulations. And second of all, I think I need your address. So hopefully if you're not on, you'll be coming back to watch this video and you will get that message because I'm not sure that I have that. So make sure you get me your address and I'll pop that out in the mail to you. All right, so let's talk about the beautiful or cute or whatever you want to call it, Storybook Gnome Suite. Oh my goodness, I'm a gnome fanatic. I've got gnomes, I think, practically for every season. There's a little gnome that sits in my foyer when you first come into my house that a friend got me. It has all different little accessories that you can put with it throughout the year. There's a gnome sitting on my front porch. Usually you'll find at least one stuffed gnome somewhere in my house. So when Stampin' Up! Came out with the Storybook Gnome Suite, I was in love. And I'm going to try to get a little bit more light going here. Hey, Carol. So we're going to play with this tonight. We're playing with the stamps. And are we playing? Yes, and the paper from the suite. We're not going to use the ribbon or the puff, the snowfall accent puff paint, or even the rhinestones tonight, but we are going to play with the stamps and the designer series paper. And the other products that we'll be using throughout the evening, right here, this leaf label and amber gem combo pack. So these are actually made to be like tags. They have a little hole in the tip of the leaf that you could run twine through or ribbon and tie onto a package. We're going to use them as an accent on a card tonight, and that's part of the Rustic Harvest suite. And of course, this is all in the mini catalog. If you're new to stamping and you don't have catalogs, please reach out to me. If you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with, we will be happy to make sure that you can have a set of those catalogs. And then we are also playing with one of my favorites from Saleabration, and that is the Rings of Love Designer Series paper. This paper is amazing. I played with it a little bit over on my Facebook page. I think 2 weeks ago, maybe for Coffee and Cards, we played with this. And if you haven't seen that video, you can hop over there and check that out. But the papers, there's something for almost every season. So I love this. As far as I know, it's still available. Oh, excuse me. It is still available and it is free with a $50 product purchase. And of course, Celebration runs through the end of August. As you probably already know, if you watch me regularly or even someone else, the envelopes and the cards in the Soft Seafoam and Pool Party have sold out. And my recommendation is that if there's lots of things in here you want, you go for the papers, the dies first. The stamps Stampin' Up! Makes, so they tend to make them longer into the sales period than some of the what we call the consumables, right? So that Rings of Love, you will not be sorry if you grab that one with a $50 order. And if you put in the $30 order for the Just Cards, you're almost there, right? Okay, let me show you the first card. The first card that I'm going to share with you tonight is a card that we made in my club this month, and it is a fun fold, and it opens up like that. And it's so cute. And we're actually stamping the mushroom and the little gnome. But I did the little gnome ahead. This is a lot of coloring. If you're not a big colorer, then it might not be your cup of tea. But there is a good bit of coloring on this particular project. The next one, not so much. So you want to make sure you stick around for that second one, right? So we have a card base of soft suede, and it is just a regular fold, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. As always, when I am off the video, I will post all the measurements below. Hi, Thelma, below, so that if you want to recreate the card, you can absolutely do that. So this is part of that Rings of Love Designer Series paper. You can see this is poinsettia looking for Christmas. Then we have the trees for fall. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. You know, I told myself I was going to check all my supplies because my elf has been helping me in my studio. And some things disappear from this station when he helps. But my girlfriend, who normally helps me, is having a fabulous time in Las Vegas. So I am by myself with 2 big classes coming up on Saturday. So I recruited my hubby. I recruited my hubby. He's a really good die cutting guy. He also takes all my pictures for me. Thank you, Thelma. Hi, Corinne. And that set, I know those little birds are adorable. Okay, so I embossed this crumb cake piece with the timber embossing folder. It's one of my favorites. And for some reason, I think of timber and woods when I think of gnomes. So I felt like that was the perfect folder to put on this particular background. Okay. And then I have another piece of soft suede here. And this one is actually scored. And again, the measurements, the score line, everything will be below in the description when we're done here. Or, give me like 15, 20 minutes. I always forget to do it. I get off, I get clean and get stuff getting cleaned up. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go post all the measurements. So, maybe go have a drink or chat with someone in the house and then come check for the measurements. That's all right. Tonight we had a frantic search for my phone at 5 of 8 because I had been using it. And then I went upstairs and I purposefully didn't take it up with me so I wouldn't leave it up there. Then I couldn't find it when I came back downstairs. All right, so we've got some real red. We've got that soft suede. As I said, I went ahead and I did the little guy. So he's all done and he's got a combination of light and dark pool party and light and dark Smokey Slate, soft suede, and light and dark poppy parade on him. He's so cute. So cute. Look at those little guys. We've got a little girl. We got a guy carrying a lantern. That's perfect for Christmas season, I think. And then, of course, you've got this big toadstool, which is the die that we're going to use right now. Or the stamp set. I'll get it, guys. Give me a minute. Whew, the stamp that we're going to use right now. So as I said, if you're not a big colorer, there is a way to use this suite. So you definitely want to stick around. Boy, that looks much smaller when I put that stamp right beside it, doesn't it? So that you can check that out on the next card. Because I couldn't just do one. Now, I have a couple of my club members on here, so I always want to give them something to see that they didn't necessarily do in club, right? All right, so let me grab, we are going to use the Poppy Parade light and dark. We're going to use some dark, so saffron and a little bit of light basic black and light and dark crumb cake and light and dark soft suede. So usually I start with my darks and that's what we're going to do here because I like to blend over them. And I think I'm going to switch this up a little bit. I think I just used the light and dark on the mushroom, but I'm going to use the, this is the light soft suede on all these detail marks, right? And then we'll come back in with the light crumb cake. I think it might give us a little bit more delineation between the two colors. We'll see. So do any of you lovely folks have the Kindest Gnomes yet? Oops, a little bit more right here. Okay, and then we're going to go over that just to bleed that out a little bit. Blend that in. I'm a proponent of the fine tip. I probably use that 95% of the time, or the bullet tip, I should say. If you like the brush tip, because we have so much surface here, you can absolutely use the brush tip. Blend that in a little bit. You can see I'm going in a circular motion. That's kind of how I like to do the blending. And I might have even been able to go with my dark soft suede, huh? Maybe even had a little bit more differentiation or delineation. So I'm doing this very quickly because I know it's like watching paint dry when you're watching a video and someone's coloring, right? But if there's new folks that aren't familiar with the blends, I like to show them how to get that shading activity going on. I also, this is the dark crumb cake, so we're going to just add a little bit of that down here as it comes around. I also want to, say that these are the alcohol markers that Stampin' Up! Offers, which I adore. We have so many different coloring tools, but right now I would say this is probably my favorite. It's very easy to get some artistic look going on. We're going to bring in some dark saffron for the window panes. And with your alcohol markers, you definitely want to use your Memento if you're looking for a black to stamp with, rather than the StazOn. The reason is that the alcohol markers, as by definition, right, are alcohol based. So you want a water-based ink to stamp with so that you do not bleed your black ink. If you were to use the StazOn, because it is a solvent-based ink, it would actually bleed out on you, and then you would not end up with a very nice image. So remember that. Memento for your alcohol markers, StazOn for your water base, such as your Stampin' Write markers, and anything else that you're using, watercolor pencils, for instance. So Carol, you have the gnomes? Have you played with them? I am using the Dark Poppy Parade on the window frames and also around the door here in a minute. Now you know why I went ahead and colored the little gnome in advance, right? I'm not going to worry about any shading here. I feel like this would be paint in it, like a matte paint, so it wouldn't pick up a lot of shadow, would it? Okay, so we almost have this lick, huh? We're going to grab, let's start with this one, but I think I used, well, maybe I did use this. This is the light soft suede. And because the stamp designer or artist went ahead and put the lines in the door for us, we're just going to go with that. We're not going to worry about shading that either. So who has a favorite set from the mini catalog at this time? I got to tell you, I got to be honest, I don't, because I love so many of them. I love so many of them that I can't stop playing with them. And then just a little bit of the light basic black for the doorknob. So there is our mushroom or our toadstool or whatever we want to call it, right? We're going to go ahead and mount that. I'm going to be very brave, apparently, because I didn't stamp my greeting yet. That's all right. We got that. And that greeting, if you're wondering where that cute little "May Your Greatest Wish Come True" greeting came from, it came from the Hello Ladybug stamp set. This was such a good one, and we played so heavily with it, and now I feel like I'm ignoring it, and I still really like it. So I pull that greeting out a lot for birthday cards, and that's what this card's going to be, as a birthday card. We're going to go ahead and stamp that up here. Just want to make sure that I have it in my hand in the right position. Nothing worse than stamping your greeting upside down, right? And I'm going to grab some dimensionals. Brand new ones that I keep forgetting to put my marks on, so I know where I've removed the backings and where I haven't. We're going to pop him up. You're not ready to start Christmas cards? Oh my goodness. Well, I understand that, but trust me, I have started, because if I don't, I will not make it. I send out a lot of Christmas cards. All right, so there is our piece that we are going to mount, and it's going to open up, right? So the best way that I have found to do this, the adhesive is going to go on the outside of the little flap. I'm not going to take it right up to the edge where the fold is, just in case that ends up being just a little bit beyond. And I'm being bad. I should be using tear and tape or even Tombow liquid glue, but for ease and speed, I'm going to use good old seal. And then the way I do this is I put this right here. Okay. And I fold it over and I make sure that I've got it straight. Okay. And then I close my card. Now, why do I do it that way? Why don't I just line it up on the back edge of the card, right in here, line that up and bring it in that way? Because every once in a while, either your score line on this piece is off, or one of your edges is just a little bit longer than the other one. So by doing it that way, I ensure that it's going to go and close very cleanly and nicely, crispy. I don't know. Crisply, I think is the word I want. And then we're going to put this on the inside, which is going to cover up that flap that is attached to the back of the inside of the card. And it's going to close up just like that. So let's stamp that before we do that. And I am using Celebrate You, or I'm using Happy Birthday from Celebrate You. Celebrate You is a fabulous greeting set. So fabulous that I have apparently put it somewhere and I can't find it. So I only have this particular greeting from the set right now. I'm hoping it turns up because it is one I reach for all the time. And it might be in, I have a lot of kits packed. It might be in one of the packed kits. So hopefully it will turn up soon. But I like that font. I like that we have that open font there that if you really wanted to, you could actually add some color right inside the letters for birthday. That's right. That's right, Carol. They won't make themselves, darn it. No, actually, one of my favorite times of the year to stamp is for Christmas. So, and I do a really big Christmas stamp camp every year, or holiday stamp camp every year. And we do 5 projects. Usually they're like home decor projects or specialty projects that I wouldn't necessarily do in a club or just a regular class. So I have to start planning those as well, pretty much as soon as the mini catalog comes out. There we go. There's project number 1. What do you think, guys? You like that one? I think it's a cutie. I also have all the blends listed that I use, not only to color the mushroom, but the gnome in that description. So you don't have to worry if you missed which ones I was using and you want to color in the same manner. That will be there for you. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to project number 2. This is also with the gnomes and the Rings of Love paper. And it is also a fun fold. How cute is he? Oh my goodness. But you'll notice, well, maybe you can't tell, but I did not color that. That is cut directly from our designer series paper. And then it's an easel card. So it sits up just like that. Okay, for display purposes. This one is a thank you card. I'm using Go To Greetings. That is one of my favorites for just simple, nice font, clean, crisp greetings for happy birthday, thinking of you and thank you. If you're wondering where the little acorns come from, they come from Ringed with Nature. Now you could stamp them, and the trick is here's the cap, and then here's the acorn, and that cap fits on the one of the acorns. I think it's this one, if I remember correctly, perfectly. But instead of doing that, I opted to die cut my acorns. So there's a die for the bottom, and there's the die for the top. And of course, this is the hybrid embossing and die cutting. So when you buy the Ringed with Nature bundle, you're going to get the embossing folder that makes all of the tree rounds embossed image, right? And then you can lay this in the folder. The trick here is you want to make sure that you have the side, usually it's the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. And then this will click right into place. Doesn't mean it'll stay there for you, but you'll know you're on the right side when you can't kind of shift it with your thumbs. Put your paper in, close it, run it through your machine. Not only will it emboss your cardstock, but it will die cut them as well. So you get all 5 of the pieces embossed and die cut in one shot. So it's a huge time saver. Yeah, I love that one too, Betty. It is a huge time saver. I love our hybrid folders and die cutting bundles. I just think they increase the versatility of what you can do with them. And so you also have, you can make this a toadstool as well. And you've got some branches with leaves in here also. So it's a really nice bundle. The stamp set itself is just chock full. There's 22 stamps in that particular package of stamps. Everything from a little house to a poinsettia. Some greetings in there. Very, very nice. Okay, so. And then, of course, that Rings of Love designer series paper that's part of the celebration promotion, that coordinates beautifully with this particular bundle. So not kind of where I was headed, but it worked out. It worked out, I think. All right, let me find my cardstock. We will make this one, and this one will come together much more quickly because, again, we are not going to be coloring on this one. So this time I have a piece of crushed curry, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and scored again at 2 3/4. If you have never made a basic easel card, and there's lots of different styles out there, this is the one to start with if you're new to easel cards, right? Because that's how you get that fold where it stands up, is by scoring it. And I always score it, always is a strong word. 99% of the time I score for a basic easel card right in half of that front flap. So in this particular case, because we have the 4 1/4 by 11, we are talking about scoring that at the 2 3/4 inch mark. Another piece of the Ringed with Love, or Rings with Love designer series paper. This one is fall themed. Love fall. It is my favorite time of the year. My husband and I actually got married in the fall. And then I have, and I wanted to show you these. These are the stylish shape dies. Now, these are a standalone die set in the annual catalog, but these are stitched. So we have stitched circles, we have stitched squares. Love that because we were missing our stitched circles. We haven't had squares in a while, so having stitched squares is like a super duper bonus. And then we also have 4 different sizes of stitched banners. So if you're a fan of the stitch dies, this one should definitely be on your wish list. And this again is called Stylish Shapes, and it is in the annual catalog. It is back with all the dies because it does not coordinate with a stamp set. So you can marry it with anyone that you like. I'm also using the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder that's in the mini. And this one is kind of cool. The design comes down like this. So if you're putting a full panel of cardstock in there, right? You want to kind of know where you want to position it because it's going to not emboss everything, which actually works out nicely. If you want to put your greeting in a particular location, you can orient your paper to allow you to have that option to stamp right on the embossed cardstock. We're going to emboss this circle that I die cut previously. Going to get it there because I want a good bit of coverage for the leaf. Run that through. If you haven't seen me before, my die cutting machine sits to my left. Rather than bring it into camera and have it shake my table, which therefore maybe makes you a little seasick, I just take it right over here, roll it through. It is a 3D folder, so your sandwich is just your platform and your specialty plate with your folder. Always put your fold of the embossing folder through first or on the side, but never in the back, right? Because over time, this can crack and it will ruin your folder for you. So this is very vanilla. Hopefully that is, the camera's picking up that nice deep embossing of all those leaves. I need a little bit more though, right? It looks nice on there, but I wanted something a little deeper. So I went with some crushed curry ink. Oops. And a sponge dauber. And I'm going to tap this in my ink. And I'm looking for, I kind of cleaned up and I'm looking for scrap paper here. And I'm going to just tap the real heavy ink off on a piece of scrap paper. And then I actually hold this in my hand. I don't know, for me, it allows me to see it better. I can angle it versus it just laying flat on the table. Because what I'm trying to do is go over those embossed images and highlight them. So I'm using a light hand because I try not to get the ink down on the flat surface, just where we have raised texture. And a little bit of ink will go a long way. I'm okay with the variation in shade because our background paper has that same variation in shade. And you could add more colors. If you wanted to add the greens and the poppy parade that are in the background paper to this piece, you could. But then I think it's going to blend in more for you. And I'm looking for something that gives us a little bit of separation. So I did not opt to add the poppy parade, and I think it's shaded spruce. Don't hold me to that. I think we're good. I think we have it. So there we go. So now you can see that stands out a little bit more than it would if I had gone and used all those colors. Other fun product I'm going to bring in is the Leaf Labels and Amber Gem combo. This is part of, I just tore that bag to smithereens. This is part of the Rustic Pumpkin Suite. Hello Harvest, Harvest Hello. And as I mentioned, oops, let's get that apart there. These are like craft paper. They're a little bit heavier weight. And as I mentioned, they do have that little hole punch there. So you could turn this into a tag. We're going to use it just on our card. I'm going to put it like that. And then we're going to actually die cut our little gnome. I just cut him out of the designer series paper. There's 2 whole sheets of the designer series paper that you can cut the gnomes out of. And then there's 2 more sheets that you can cut the toadstools or the mushrooms out of. So if you really aren't a fan of coloring, this is the way to go. So I'm going to run him through. I'll be right back. Of course, this time we're going to need platform and a thin adapter, number 2. We're going to need a cutting pad, which is number 3. And I'm going to actually steal a little bit of that Post-it note tape that I'm so fond of using, since we no longer have our magnetic plate. Makes me so sad. But I want to make sure that stays somewhat in place. And then a cutting pad on top. And we pull him out. That up there so I have it. Look how cute he is. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to position him on that leaf so that I can kind of hide that hole. That is my ultimate goal here, is to hide the tag hole. I think that works. What do you think? All right, we're going to go ahead and mount the circle that we die cut and embossed. That leaf fall, I think it should be fall leaf, but it's leaf fall. Oh no, Shirley. Well, good. I'm glad you're back. It's so pretty. It really is very, very pretty. And then this is going to go flat as well. Do it right about there. I'm going to pop Mr. Gnome. I'm going to be doing a bingo with my gnomies coming up, guys. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That will be a blast. And I'll have more information on that coming out in hopefully early next month. That's my plan anyway, but you know, everything is not always in our control. All right, so I love this side of the paper too. It looks like a sweater, like a Nordic sweater. We're going to put him right there. Got a little bit of the leaf sticking out all around him. Got some very vanilla and soft suede here. We're going to stamp that greeting. Your kindness does not go unnoticed. That is from the gnomes. Kindest Gnomes. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment whether you're watching the replay or live, because everybody who comments gets entered into the drawing for the cards that I make tonight. And you know you want these guys. They're so stinking cute. All right. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you get notified when I go live. And just so you know, hitting the thumbs up and the subscribe both, and leaving the comments as well, it really does help us, those of us that are out here doing the videos, because it tells YouTube, okay, they like what they're seeing. We'll help her get seen a little bit more, and that's of course everybody's trying to do that. Oh, hi, Elsa. Thank you. Where are you watching from, Elsa? We're going to add some of these beautiful gems that come in the kit with the leaves. And we're going to take, those were the 2 smaller size. I'm going to take one. Okay, that's kind of crazy because I already took a large one from here, but I'm going to take another large one. It's not missing. And we're just going to pop it right there because, you know, I like to do my trio. Wisconsin. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching and commenting. All right. So now here is the trickiest part of the whole card, and it's not tricky. And again, you can use tear and tape, you can use Tombow liquid glue, you can use whatever you like. We are going to mount this to our card front. We only are going to put adhesive beneath that score line that was at the halfway point, at the 2 3/4 point, right? If we put it higher than that, oops, I can tell this one needs cleaned. If we put this higher, if we added adhesive here, then we would close our card. We would not be able to bend it on that score line. So that's why it's so important to just apply it beneath where you've scored it. Yeah, those gems are awesome, aren't they, Shirley? They're a little richer in tone than the champagne rhinestones. Uh-oh. I swear to you, I had two when I started today. Here we go again. This elves come and take my stuff. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and put this one together. I'm going to grab my silicone pad for a second. And I just put a little adhesive right on the edge of the cap. And I want to keep that fairly high so he looks like an acorn, right? Okay. Now where did that other silly piece go? I had them. I did have them. All right, well, I'm going to grab some soft suede and some crumb cake, and we're going to cut that other piece. How about that? That is in the Ringed with Nature. So we'll grab those dies. I didn't scoop them up and put them in here. And there is our acorn bottom and our acorn cap. And we'll grab that. And I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll finish that one up. Fortunately, my video station is very close to my design area, so my cardstock is right there. So we're going to grab just some scrap here and cut out our acorn, because we definitely need them both. So we'll put that on there and this on there and run that through. Anybody else miss our little acorn punch that we had? Was it just last year at this time? We had those leaf, and I'm pretty sure that was where the acorn punch was too. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the little metallic bowl because otherwise I'll be looking for it along with the one I die cut previously. And a little bit more adhesive with our silicone pad. Sometimes my fingers are just too big. Right at the top. And then I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to add my dimensionals. Now, the reason I'm adding the dimensionals here is I need the dimensionals to keep my prop for my front, right? For the piece that we're going to fold up and hold. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's so crazy. So crazy. I did find the hat on the Facebook Live the other night or the other morning. I found the Santa hat that I had cut out as soon as I got off the live, of course. And then we'll put some on the back of this guy too. And I always like to overlap where I have glued those tiny little pieces together so that it helps hold it in place, right? Keeps it from coming off your card as it goes through the mailing system and through the wheels and all of that. All right, so we're going to put this together. Get all the unnecessary goodies out of the way. And if I lay this in here, I kind of want it to be about that high, maybe just a little bit lower. So I can position my acorns accordingly. Now I'm not going to tape those down yet because I want to stamp my thank you. And if I have a boo-boo, I can still turn it over. Two sides to every piece of cardstock. How important is that to us stampers? Pretty important if you ask me. All right, so. I love that little thank you. Just nice little script, nice size, perfect for the inside of our card. And then you have the space above where the acorns and the thank you are going to be to write your message, your personal message to your recipient. And I know it doesn't show on the camera, but there is some detail from the dies on the acorns as well. So there's little dimples in the bottom of the acorn and the hash marks across the acorn that you're used to seeing in nature. Okay. And then this just comes down like that. And there we go. There is our easy easel card with our cute little gnomes. And then here was our other one that we did. And this was also a fun fold, right? That opens up like this. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed those, guys. I love the gnomes. They are fabulous. They will carry you through every season. And that Rings of Love paper too will do the exact same thing. So if you haven't put these on your wish list, maybe today I've inspired you to do so. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me and chatting with me. Give me those thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And I will be live on Thursday at 10 a.m. over on my Facebook page. And that's Lori Staley, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm also live over there on Sunday nights at 8. That's usually our simple stamping night. And I'll be back here next Tuesday with some more fun projects to share with you. Hopefully you have a fabulous week and a great weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye.